Hey, what's up everybody? Well, making a video, wearing my Mardi Gras sunglasses. May not get an opportunity for the rest of the month. But real quickly, I want to talk about something that came in. 4 mermaids, Ariel and 3 of her sisters. And the one thing that's supposed to come in, but is stuck, and it'll probably be a few more days in Dallas. And it's an Eric doll. And they're they're on the 1/18th scale, I think. A little smaller than Sophia. But what I want to talk about in this last video, before I go, it's just, more of the same about how, I'm just so sick and tired of people trying to say that I'm wrong when I know that I'm not. And, they just don't bring me, any closer to liking, accepting, or wanting to wear these shoes. Because even something as wholesome as this was in 1989 is still not something I would advertise, for the simple reason that it is associated with children and intended for children. So I feel like I've exhausted that subject matter to death, but did find some other, I wouldn't say frightening, but shocking things about the curse of Princess Ivy. As I've stated before, I believe talking animals, and especially singing animals, are a distraction in many ways. They're a way to shoo away the most intelligent viewers. And their little songs, they hide a lot of stuff that happens really fast during these songs. Because they think that nobody would dare to slow them down. That people are going to be too busy paying attention to, "Here comes Spike the dog again," to ever pause it or focus on the doctor saying, "Try some cheese," to Angelica's mom. They think, the people are just going to be so excited about hearing Everburn sing like a boy band, or the dragon singing about Everburn like a boy band, that nobody will ever slow it down enough to hear this.
It's an emergency.
Oh, and only ever.
It's just Cedric.
His name is Everburn.
And it clearly sounds like he almost said the S word, oh something, during the song. He didn't pronounce the IT, but he almost said the S word. And I feel like, his gradual reduction in appearance had everything to do with that. So,
Oh, and only ever.
It's just Cedric.
the other thing I've discovered is that just like her Uncle Seti, his little niece Callista had a mild, non-graphic puke scene in Too Cute to Spook, the one I hated because he wasn't there, but she was.
Lemon treats. See? Oh, yucky.
And she threw up. They didn't really show it, but I know that she did. And Vivian and I think Desmond also threw up, and substitute Cedric when they had them all spinning around in the air, the pranksters. You know, their cheeks got really big and they didn't show their mouth after that. So there's some non-graphic puke scenes that I probably missed simply because I didn't watch the ones without him if I knew that to be the case. And I certainly didn't record them. And I just feel like, you know, if I were ever going to watch something, it would not be the 3D CGI Rugrats. It would be the Sophia episodes that I didn't watch or refused to watch because he wasn't there. And, you know, it's just, I feel like there's just so much more that I'm probably missing all across children's media and probably never will know about, you know, because I'm not going to get into them for sake of time and because my life is finite. So anyway, you know, I just feel like, you know, like I've said before, I mean, you cannot gaslight me into thinking of the Rugrats as a wholesome show by trying to tell me that I'm wrong. Because even if I were wrong about everything, mere fact that if you remove the twins and the newer babies, you could arrange them so that their first initials spell something very disgusting, as well as cats. And before there was Susie, there was Spike. So Susie, Chucky, Angelica, Tommy, or Spike, Chucky, Angelica, Tommy, you know, their first initials spell something totally disgusting. And it's a genre of porn. And I feel like there's just so many things that were nasty, especially on Nickelodeon, that were hidden within, you know, like things that were just ridiculous. Like there was no reason for them to call it that, like Bikini Bottom in SpongeBob. And like the doctor's name and, you know, Otto Rocket, you know, why did his name have to be Rocket instead of Smith Jones or Robinson, you know? There's a reason behind that. And I just feel like there's just so many things, you know, that were just nasty, that went over kids' heads, and it's almost like they think of our kids as a joke. Yeah, they just think of our kids as a joke. And I'm glad I don't have any. And, you know, the other thing I want to end with is, oh my gosh, AI is just so freaking awesome. You know, there was one called Floating Palace with Sophia the First. Then there was Cool Hand Fluke, which is like she went back to Merway Cove, Merway Cove without Cedric, and Fluke was the antagonist instead. But you know what always bothered me is that Sophia had to become a part of their world and meet Ariel, rather than vice versa. I've always thought it would be cool if the mermaids were transformed into humans instead of vice versa, but with AI you can do that. Instead of Sophia having to transform into a mermaid, I wish you could have had the mermaids transform to humans. So yeah, I'll go ahead and end with that, as well as that other thing. So go and post this video.